Xander here, and we're back doing brews in standard. This is a funky one that I got for you guys. I've seen a couple of people tackling this because there's a card that it's based on that seems to be pretty underrated, but I think it's probably a sleeper and it's going to see a whole lot of modern play when people finally trigger that it's a really good card. And it's Flame of Keld. So we're going to be running Flame of Keld is the namesake of the deck, and it's essentially just a burn deck. So mono red burn. But Flame of Keld, I'll just read it here. So it's a saga for 2, 1 and 1 red. The turn you play it, you discard your hand. The turn after you play it, you draw 2 cards. And then on the third turn, it reads, if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2 to that permanent or player instead. So that basically means that anything that we have that is red deals damage plus 2. So if you hit them with a 1/1 and it's a red creature, they deal 3. If you shock someone for 2, it's dealing them 4. And yeah, you get it. It's pretty cool. You would think discarding your hand would be a bad thing, but we want to see it as often as possible. So we're going to run it as a 4 of. We're also going to run 4 of Bowmat Courier because it's just a sensational card. So if the Flame of Keld isn't something that is going to happen, we want to be able to refill our hand and just keep going with gas. The deck's all about just getting gas and racing the opponent. So Bowmat Courier is just for 1 a 1/1 construct. Haste, so it can swing in the turn you play it, and then whenever it attacks, you exile the top card face down, and then you can pay 1 to discard your hand, sacrifice it, and put those cards in your hand. So it's awesome card advantage, and it does draw a paint a target on its head a bit, but that also draws out the removal, which lets our more important stuff kind of just slip through, which is good. So we're going to run that as a 4 of as well. 4 of Fanatical Firebrand, which is a absolutely wicked pinging goblin. So for 1 a 1/1 haste, and then it's got tap sack it to deal 1 damage to a creature or player. So this gives the deck the speed that it needs to go off turn 1, like just hit the board running. But then after Flame of Keld goes off, you can also just ping them for damage to the face. So this turns our 1-drop into a bolt, essentially. So we're definitely going to be running that as a 4 of. So we're also running 8 wizards in the deck because we're running Wizard's Lightning. But one of the wizards here is Jitu Lava Runner, which is for 1 a 1/2. But as long as there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 and haste. So going into the later game, this is another one that can top deck and start swinging. So we're going to be running it as a 4 of. We're also running a 4 of Soulscar Mage, which is for 1 a 1/2 with prowess. So every time you play a non-creature, it gets +1/+1. And then if a source you control would deal damage, non-combat damage to a creature an opponent controls, it deals that many neg1 counters instead. So this turns all of our burn into neg1 counter stuff, which is huge when it matters. So like if they play, so Scarab God, plays Scarab God, there's a 5/5 on the board, we can't really deal with it with our little creatures, but our removal will let us do it. So our burn spells alongside this will just let us deal with Scarab God or something big that hits the board. We can now deal with it, which is fantastic. We're running a few Planeswalkers in the deck. So 2 of Chandra, Torture Defiance, which is for 2 and 2 red. 4 loyalty counters. One of her +1s is exile the top card and ping your opponent for 2. You can play that card. If you don't cast, so look at exile the top card of your library. You may cast that card. If you don't, you ping your opponent for 2 damage, or each opponent for 2. So if Flame of Keld's gone off and we've got Chandra out, you're pinging for 4. Its second +1 is +1, add 2, so she's added ramp. Her neg 3 is deal 4 damage to a creature, so we can deal 6 to a creature if Flame of Keld's gone off. And then her ultimate, which is neg 7, is you get an emblem with each time you cast a spell, this emblem deals 5 damage to target creature or player. So if Flame of Keld has gone off, if it's a stupid long game, it's probably never going to happen. But if it's a stupid long game and you have got the ultimate off, then you're going to be dealing 7 damage instead of 5 every time you ping someone on that turn you play, the turn Flame of Keld goes off. So, awesome card. It's worth a whole lot of money for a whole lot of good reasons, and it sees a lot of play in Modern as well because it's just such a great card. So, looking at I mentioned these guys earlier. A 4 of Wizard's Lightning, which is for 3 instant, deal 3 damage to any target, but it costs 2 less to play if you control a wizard. So we've got 8 wizards in here. So it's not uncommon to be playing this is just for 1 bolt, which is fantastic. And yeah, at instant speed, it's Lightning Bolt back in standard. It's great. Love to see it. Goblin Chainwhirler for 3 of 3/3 first strike. When it enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. So this with Flame of Keld comes in 3 damage to each opponent, 3 damage to each creature, 3 damage to each planeswalker they control. Like, it's crazy the value you get out of this with the Flame of Keld going off. And then it also synergizes with the Soulscar Mage because all of the damage it's dealing is pinging their creatures and just putting a -1 on their board. Just it's a one-sided -1, bang, everything. So, wicked card, and we're playing it as a 4 of. Also playing a 4 of Lightning Strike because we want to be pinging for as much damage as often as possible, and instant speed is fantastic. So this is just for 2, 1 and 1 red. Instant, deal 3 damage to target creature or player. Pretty easy to follow. So it's for 2, bang, deal 5 if Flame of Keld's gone off. Everything's just synergizing with Flame of Keld, and it's freaking, yeah, this deck's so much fun. I'll do upload a video of gameplay after I post this deck tech because, yeah, you guys got to see it work. Shock, not the greatest card, but it adds up, and every little bit of damage counts, but it's also super cheap, so for 1, deal 2 to creature or player. It's just great in the early game. And 4 damage in the late game after a Flame of Keld isn't anything to snuff at. So, yeah, we're going to run that as a 4 of 2. Jaya Ballard, or I've heard some people, some more European people call it Yaya, or Yaya, or I don't know how to say it. So Jaya Ballard, old granny, for 2 and 3 red, is a planeswalker with 5 loyalty counters. Her +1 ability, or one of her +1 abilities, is add 3 red mana to your mana pool and spend this mana only to cast instant or sorcery spells. So that's good enough in itself. Her second +1 ability is discard up to 3 cards and then draw that many cards. So if we're sitting on excess lands that we don't want, if we're sitting on dead cards, or we've got like just anything that we don't want to be playing, we can just pitch it to the grave and then just hopefully draw more gas. So it's just another enabler for us going off. And the -8 ability also has a huge part to play as well, is if we can get her to ultimate, her -8 is you get an emblem with you may cast instant and sorcery spells from your graveyard, and if you cast a spell this way and it would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. So this is just insane. It's just, yeah. So all the spells that you've been pinging with them all game, Flame of Keld goes off later on, and then you play them from your graveyard again. It's great. It's freaking fantastic. So I'm definitely going to be playing Granny a whole lot, and it's wicked. The land base is pretty simple. We're running 20 lands. It's 16 mountains and 4 of the Desert of the Fervent, which just basically just cycle draw a card. Just, yeah, it could probably use more lands. I'm just not sure what I want to cut because the list is so tight, and I haven't had a huge problem finding the lands I need. Like, we get the ramp from Chandra, we get ramp from Jaya, and getting to 5 lands with 20, and everything else being such a low curve. And there's quite a bit of draw card in there. Yeah, I haven't had a problem with it so far. If you guys do have problems with it, let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's been working for me so far. So we're just gonna have a look at the sideboard here. So you see here we've got quite a bit of graveyard hate with the just a one-off scavenger grounds. I didn't want to fill the board. I hate putting lands in sideboards, but I didn't want not red in the main board because I want to be able to play a 1-drops fairly reliably. It was already rough enough trying to put the 4 cycle lands in there. So we're only going to run the one-off scavenger grounds, which is just for you play it. It's 2-tap sack, exile all cards from all graveyards, which is just great against Scarab God strategies. We're also running a 2-of Sentinel Totem, which comes in as an artifact for 1. You scry 1, helps our draws, and then it's tap, exile all cards from all graveyards. Again, Scarab God or for Godfarer's Gift. For Godfarer's Gift matchups, we're also running a 4 of a Braid because destroying artifacts is important, and there's a couple of the mono-white approach decks run important, what they consider important artifacts that this can also help deal with as well. We're running a 2 of Chandra's Defeat, which is just for 1, deal 5 damage to any target red creature or red planeswalker, so this just outright kills any planeswalker that they play. If that permanent was a Chandra Planeswalker, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. And yeah, it's the ultimate insult to be able to... Someone resolves a Chandra and you just go for 1, kill it. It's rough. Sweltering Suns for the token strats. Now, our creatures are small, but there will be times where we're getting beat on the board. So what you want to do there is you literally just hold your creatures up, hold on to them, let them ping you for some damage if you want, let them get overconfident, build a board up, and then just Sweltering Suns and then start dumping your stuff out because, yeah, it's happened to me a couple of times, and anything that goes wide faster than we want them to is something that's pretty bad for us. It's a pretty bad matchup. But because we don't want to be wasting our burn spells on killing creatures. So we don't like go wide strategies that isn't us. We're going straight to the face. The last of the sideboard here is I'm playing a 2 of Fight with Fire, which is for 3 at sorcery speed. You deal 5 damage to target creature. So this kills a lot by itself, but it's also got the kicker of 6, which is if the spell was kicked, it deals 10 damage as you divided as you choose among any number of targets instead. Those targets can include players and planeswalkers. So I'm not sure on the ruling, but I haven't actually tested it out yet to see if it happens. So if a sorcerer you control would deal damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2. So I'm pretty sure we could make that stupid if we wanted to. So it'd be just like ping a heap of creatures for multiple. It could be a board wipe, but it's only going to be like a spastic way to do a Sweltering Suns. But otherwise it's 10 damage to the face, or 12 damage to the face on the turn Flame of Keld's gone off. Which we can also use Granny here to ramp it, so it gets us that much closer to it. So it's something that you did pull out in against decks that naturally just take a long time to do anything. So you can either try to race them, or if you want to have some fun, maybe try to see if you can get this to go off. It's just in there for fluff more than anything. It's just Granny's on the card. It's a burn spell. I'm there for the fun. So Vandal Vance's Blasting Cannons, which is for 4. It's 3 and 1 red, a legendary enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it this turn, and then whenever you cast a 3rd spell in a turn, you may transform it. So this is card advantage, straight out. Card advantage that turns into this. It's basically just bolt on a land. So for 3 tap, deal 3 damage to a creature player, or it just taps for red. So it's not bad. It's also not a coloured source, so the land doesn't trigger with Flame of Keld, but after you play it, it's a bit of card advantage before you get to flip it, and then you're ramping out anyway, so... It's, yeah. The deck's a whole lot of fun to play. I hope you guys try it out. Let me know what you like, let me know if you like the deck in the comments. Let me know what you think needs to be in there, if I'm missing anything. If you like the deck and you like the content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you guys in the next one.